Hello YouTube, today is the 3rd of January 2019. It's the 10th year anniversary of the first block for the blockchain to be mined. So happy birthday blockchain. And what we'll be discussing today would not only be covering the 10th anniversary, but also the proof of keys that everyone has been talking about. So what is the proof of keys? Why this date of January 3rd is important for the proof of keys. I'll also cover how one is to assess the 12 key phrase for your cloud wallet. And I'll just also touch on the news that Tony Robbins is now encouraging his 3 million followers on his Twitter to go invest in Bitcoin. Okay, if you find this video interesting, do stay tuned. Hello YouTube. So these are the topics that I'll be covering today. Hopefully it's going to be a short video. So firstly I will go through the Genesis block, how we're going to get the data for the first Genesis block, and also show you that the number of blocks that we are currently having on the blockchain. We'll talk about proof of keys, where people are talking about today. This is actually introduced by Trace Mayer, and what's the idea or culture that he's trying to introduce to all Bitcoiners and cryptocurrency holders in the world. For those that do not know how to retrieve your 12 passphrase, or rather your private keys, from your own cloud wallet, I will just quickly run through how you can do that. After which I will cover on the recent news that Tony Robbins have tweeted to his 3 million followers on Bitcoin. So what impact does this have on the crypto sphere? Also, I'll follow up on the news whereby there is an article by MIT Review saying that the blockchain is going mainstream. So how does this impact the adoption of a blockchain? But I will touch on the possibility that there is going to be several months of consolidation. I will refer to the past Bitcoin cycles and how this consolidation will be important for us. So to move on, let's talk about today, which is being the 3rd of January 2019, and is exactly 10 years whereby we have the blockchain, the original Bitcoin blockchain, been mining blocks since the very first day. So how do we actually see the date of the first Genesis block that's being mined? All you can do is go to any blockchain browser or Bitcoin browser. You have blockchain.com, you have btc.com, bitcoinity.org. There are tons of them online. So I'll refer to blockchain.com, and on this browser, blockchain.com is actually a wallet. So, but however, it is also a browser, so they have the courtesy of allowing people to access blocks online. So all you need to do is just over at the search box, as you can see here, do a search for 0, enter, and it will yield you, okay, let's give a while, the block information with the height 0, so which is this link here in the results. Click that, and this is actually the data of the first original Genesis block. Here you can see that the time which it was actually mined was here, as you can see, 2009 January 3rd at precisely 18 hours 15 minutes and 5 seconds. Interestingly to note, the difficulty on this block was actually 1. There's only one transaction on that block because it was at infancy for the blockchain, and you also see that the block reward was actually 50 bitcoins. Okay, something interesting to note. The total fees was actually 0. Why it's 0? Because the actual transaction itself, that one transaction, was actually the reward that went to the miner that actually mined this block. So that was the only transaction, the reward fees being awarded to the miner. Also, another interesting thing to note on the block, on the next block, is it wasn't actually the 10 minutes after this block, but let's say I do a search for one to look at the details of the next block, because the next block was 1 here, and you can see that the next block was mined on the 9th of January 2009. Okay, so it wasn't exactly 10 minutes after that. The other way that you can assess all the following blocks is, of course, by clicking this next block link here on the block. So if I was to look at the previous block on this number 1 here, I click that, that will be block 0. Okay, the next block for block 0 will be 1 here, and next block for after 1 will be 2, and so on. But what exactly is the block number now that's being currently mined? I will refer you to another browser for easier reference. That will be btc.com, and on btc.com, just on the home page itself, it shows you all the miners mining information for every block. And as you can see here, the currently in Malaysia now, it's 3:17 p.m. on the 3rd of January. The current block that's being mined now, or rather 18 minutes ago, as you can see on the homepage of btc.com, is the block number 556796. Okay, so it's already been more than half a million blocks ever since the Genesis block. As you may know, the reward for the blocks now is no longer 50 bitcoins. We have gone through 2 halvings, so it's actually 12.5 bitcoins. Okay, in this case, for this block, it's actually Bixin, the pool miner. Now, as far as the proof of keys is concerned, this was actually brought up by Trace Mayer. He is a famous Bitcoin advocate, and you can check out his video. Just go and do a search of what is proof of keys. You should be able to find his channel. He is also a blockchain specialist. So what he is advocating is that what all Bitcoin holders could do is all of us are to move out our Bitcoin from any exchanges that you may be having, that may be having your Bitcoin. So the reason why we want to do that is so that we have sovereignty over the Bitcoins that we own. So his channel is on Bitcoin Knowledge Podcast. Basically, the idea is by all of us moving our Bitcoins out of the exchanges, then of course we move it to cloud wallets where we have control over the private keys. Once we have access to the private keys of our Bitcoin, then we basically control our own Bitcoin. But if you were to leave your Bitcoin on the exchanges, well, we wouldn't know whether the exchanges would actually be practicing reserve banking, where they actually take our Bitcoins and loan it out or invest in other places. So if they are to do that, then they won't. If let's say all of us are to transfer our Bitcoins out, then generally the exchanges will be forced to buy Bitcoins to return to everyone. So I think this is a good idea where Trace Mayer is suggesting where all of us try to move all our Bitcoins out and not leave it on third-party wallets and exchanges, but rather move them over to cloud wallets where we can have access of our own private keys. So let's try to do this on yearly basis on the 3rd of January every year, where we celebrate the birthday of blockchain. If you are still unsure of how to access your private keys, what you could do is you sign up for a cloud wallet like blockchain.com. Okay, and once you have moved your Bitcoins over to your cloud wallet, for instance blockchain.com, you are to write down your 12 passphrase. So the passphrase is what you do is, for the blockchain.com instance, you generally go to the security center. We have this option for you to access your backup phrase, and for myself, because I backed up before, that's why it says backup again here. But if you are doing the first time, you just need to click that and you will come to this particular page where you have option to print the backup sheet. So if you are to click this, you'll be able to download a backup sheet that looks like this. Okay, so it's just a piece of paper where you write down your 12 backup phrase. You write them down, and then you can actually print this out if you want to, and then you store this piece of paper. Now it's important that you keep this safely. Laminate it if you have to, so that it doesn't burn in case of fire. But the reason why you have got to keep this safely is in the event that you forgot your password to your wallet, to this blockchain wallet, there is no option for you to retrieve your lost password to your account. So, however, there is an option for you to gain back access of your Bitcoin by entering that 12 key phrase that you've already recorded down. In fact, whoever has access to your 12 key phrase, they are able to upload to any other wallets there are, or whatever wallet brand there may be, for example Coinomi or Jack's wallet. If anyone has this 12 key phrase of yours, uploads this 12 key phrases, he is able to backup phrases, and he's able to access the Bitcoins that you own. Okay, so please take note of that. Now the way to access the 12 passphrases will be by clicking this, and once you click that, you will come to the page, the first page where you have access to the four words. I've blotted this out for my own security, but once you see your first four, again you write them down onto this piece of paper. Then the next step after that would be clicking this next four words, and once you click that, you will be able to see the next four. And again, click that again, you will see the 9th to the 12 words. Once you've written all 12 words, the next procedure would be the system will then test you that you've actually written down all 12 key phrase. For example, it may ask you what is the 10th key phrase, backup phrase. So if let's say the word is elephant, you fill in that question, and then the system will know that you've actually written down all 12 key phrases. Okay, so that's the way to back up your passphrases. Then you basically are the owner of the Bitcoin. The news that bestseller author Tony Robbins, the motivational speaker, has made a tweet recently to his 3 million followers on Bitcoin basics. Okay, so this is one news on Daily Hodl where it reports on Tony Robbins' tweet. Now, if I was to go to Tony Robbins' tweet itself, which is at twitter.com Tony Robbins, you will see the actual tweet where he tweets a link from his Twitter over to his 3 million followers. As you can see here, 3 million followers, and that link goes actually over to his own website, tonyrobbins.com, and on this particular subpage, the page explains about the basics of Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin, how it works, what's Bitcoin mining about, and why Bitcoin is a totally different asset or currency from the standard currencies. This is actually a very different narrative from what Tony Robbins had in the past. So I'll show you what he said in the past.
What do you think of Bitcoin?
I think it's very iffy. I mean, it's like anything right now. It's really a gamble. Nobody knows. You saw what's happened in China and the impact that's happening right now on Bitcoin from that. So I don't have a clue. I look at that as it's like going to Vegas. Things that aren't really predictable, they could make you a lot of money. I'd say this is the money. I take a certain amount of money and I go, I know it's just for fun I'm investing. I know I could lose. This is Vegas, and Bitcoin fits that category for me.
So it's good that Tony Robbins have actually changed his rhetoric over Bitcoin. As you can see in the past that he was, he says it's really a big gamble, but now he is actually tweeting to his 3 million followers. Now, 3 million is a big number of followers. Let's say out of that 3 million, some had already bought Bitcoin, but another 10% was to follow that tweet and buy into Bitcoin. So we're easily looking at a few 100,000 more people exploring Bitcoin. So it's actually good adoption, Bitcoin adoption news. Next, quickly want to go over through this article where MIT Review made a report saying that the blockchain could become mainstream in 2019. I personally have a certificate with MIT Blockchain Technologies. Not all the articles that is referring to this report says that MIT Review is claiming that it's becoming mainstream. That report could highlight is that MIT said that the move to normalize blockchain in 2019. So I would think to go mainstream for blockchain, it's not so fast, especially that we have gone through a bear market in 2018. So I think adoption will be had been on the downturn last year of 2018, but 2019 I think it's more going to be more of a consolidation whereby the blockchain adoption will be going through. As far as the consolidation is concerned, probably you will know that the Bitcoin cycles, there are actually 4 main seasons. We have, of course, the bear market, that what we had in the previous bear market that's extended from 2014 to 2015. After the bear market, we had a consolidation, and after the consolidation, we had a bull market, and after that bull, we had a hyperbolic spike. So these 4 stages are actually important. But as far as the consolidation is concerned, if let's say we just ended the 2015 bear market, and these 4 cycles are actually mimicking the 4 cycles that we had previously, then the period of consolidation that Bitcoin needs to have would probably be close to the period which it went through as consolidation back in 2015. So the consolidation was As you can see here, that was close to 1 year. But of course, if let's say the bear cycle just ended and Bitcoin is going to go through a period of consolidation, we wouldn't know how long that would take. It could be several months to a year. But nevertheless, we'll just have to wait and see whether 2019 will be a consolidation year. It could be shorter, it could be longer, who knows. But this consolidation period is actually important, as imagine without the consolidation period, what would happen is the bogus blockchain companies or the ICO companies that had gone through the bear market and they actually survived, then without the consolidation period, they could actually revive themselves, which is not good for the retail investor market, because by right, the bear market and consolidation is supposed to weed out all this bogus companies or scams which by part their blockchain narrative is not important or not useful for the general public. So the consolidation period would actually further weed out all this blockchain or ICO companies that are actually scams or Ponzi schemes. So the consolidation period will be important. But saying so, let's see how long, if at all, there is a consolidation period. Okay, so that's all I have to share with you today. This video turned out to be a bit long, but nevertheless, if you find this video interesting, please give it a like, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Until then, see you in the next video.
Blockchain 360.